Okay, so we are recording. So thank you guys so much for getting on tonight. I'm so pumped to do this. This is my team's like normal Thursday night Zoom, but we have a very special guest, Ms. Jordan Wallace, who you just went double diamond last month, right? In February?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, so amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're gonna start this off with just tell us whatever version of your story you want, honestly, quick or drawn out, but just kind of like what brought you to the point to where you wanted to start your own business and kind of how you found it and like what it was that like made you make the decision to get started.
Okay, so I started in January of 2018. So I'm about a year and 3 months into this business. When I started, I did my 90-day challenge for greens and thermal fight. Actually, I started with that and then ended up adding the fat fighters, but I just like immediately fell in love with the products. I have PCOS, so weight has always been a super big struggle of mine. I've always been so self-conscious and just never truly like in love with how I felt. So after my 3 months were up, Allie asked if I'd ever thought about doing this as an extra source of income. And at the time, my boyfriend and I were living in Burlington, Vermont, which is so expensive. We had 3 animals when I first started, now 4, but just everything was adding up so quickly. The pre-K salary, like when everyone says like, oh, you're going to love teaching, but like your money's not going to be there. Like they are not joking. So I was just so thankful that Allie had brought that to my attention. I went emerald in 5 months, diamond in 6. And then at that point, I was just not very happy at my job. I loved the kids. I loved the teaching aspect, but where I was teaching, I wasn't in love with it anymore. They had kind of there's a lot going on that I wasn't in love with my job anymore. So I actually quit when I went diamond. My contract was up. I went diamond in July. My contract was up August 17th. So, whatever 2 weeks is before that, I handed in my 2 weeks and I just decided I wanted to go all in with this business. I thought these types of businesses were the biggest jokes in the world. One of my friends from my hometown used to do this, tried to get me to do it. And I'm like, no, get these wraps out of my face. And they don't work. I don't know what this is. Like, I was so against it. And I actually knew Nicole Hassinger before I even joined. Somehow I knew her name, probably from Instagram, but I just like saw these women making incredible money from their phones. And I'm like, there's just no way. And then
right. You're like, that's fake. Like that's fake news. Like people don't actually do that. Like, yeah, totally.
But like you had said, like, you know, when we were 18, like who knows, like we probably could have done this, but
right. It comes into your life 100%, like when it's supposed to, like who it, like through who it's supposed to come to you, like through. So absolutely. So did you know Allison? So you signed up with Allison Messer. Did you know her at all or just from Instagram?
Nope, just from Instagram. We still can't figure out like how we connected. I always like, I don't know, like, sometimes I like to try to figure out how people got in contact.
I know. I say that to people who join me all the time. I'm like, I wish I could tell you how I added you on Facebook, but I do not know. So sorry. Well, I think that's amazing. So you went diamond in 6 months, but then you just went double last month. So you set a diamond for a little bit. I did too. I set a diamond for a year and then I went double a year later.
Yeah, but
perfect. Okay, so let me pull up my notes here real quick. That's so awesome. And then was it $99 whenever you signed up?
Yep, and I would pay $1,000 right now.
I know. Yeah. I know, I would too. Was finding $99, was that hard for you? Did you guys have to like scrape to make it happen?
So when I moved out of my mom's house and moved into Burlington with my boyfriend, actually, bills were a little bit rough. I had one credit card at first. I kept the balance super, super low. And then just stuff added up so quickly. So when Allie said it's $99, I put it right on my credit card. It didn't feel great doing it, but I knew that it was something that I up on doing. Just the money wasn't there. And within the next 5 months, like my credit card balances are quite high, but we'll be credit card free within the next 5 months, and that's
I love it. I did too. I straight up put it on a credit card. It was a credit card we were only using for wedding stuff. But we're gonna be debt free before the baby comes at the end of July, like completely debt free. So it feels incredible. It feels absolutely incredible. So my next question is, what would you say is the biggest obstacle that you've had to overcome to reach this point in your business? Because like there's struggles to go Ruby, there's struggles to like they're at different levels, but to get from starting point to double diamond, what would you say is the biggest obstacle you had to overcome to kind of get there?
Okay, so a couple of things literally popped right into my head. Because I pushed this on my team.
Yeah.
I never took self-development serious until probably December, and it's not a coincidence that 2 months later I went double and I was sitting at diamond. Not sitting, I don't like to separate, but I
know, but you were working at a diamond level. Yeah.
But just like stopped looking like, why isn't my team doing this? Why isn't my team doing that? Blah, blah, blah. Like Pam Satter, I just like every time this pops in my head, she did a podcast and it said, stop looking at your team and look within if something's not going right. Like chances are there's something that you're not doing enough of or consistently. And when I started switching gears and I started focusing on me and a leader and what I had to do, because you can't be successful in this business without helping someone else be successful. And I was just so focused on my goals and what I wanted to do. And I wasn't focused enough on what this business could also do for other people. So as soon as I kind of switched gears and started, pouring into my team and making those sacrifices, and I self-developed for like probably a solid hour and a half, sometimes more, every single day. And it just completely changed my business, relationships in life and with my team. Like just, it's not a joke. And Allie would tell me all the time, like, something's missing. What are you missing? She's like, have you self-developed? And I'd be like, yeah, sure. Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, I watched like 2 YouTube videos today in the background while I was doing the dishes. So I feel like I'm pretty good. Like,
but then once I actually started like taking notes, listening to it, doing something that was going to benefit myself as a person, my mind, my team, and then it just completely switched gears. And getting past negativity, I'm very emotional. So negativity, when I would get it from people on Instagram, my family wasn't always super supportive of this, and now they are, but it was always super hard. And I toned down the red when people would say, you're in a pyramid scheme. You know what? Now I'm just like, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. Everyone is entitled to their opinions. But if you knew how we worked and what a pyramid scheme truly, truly was, like, you wouldn't be saying that.
Right.
I literally was one of those people who were like, you're in a scam. But we're not.
Right. Right. And it's just like, if you know, then you know. And it's like, you don't have to argue when you know. And I used to do the exact same thing for the first year and a half of my business. Like I would get like, like fire breathing dragon freaking mad at people. And it's like, you're not going to change their minds and it's going to waste your time and you're just going to get all pent up and angry about it. So like, you might as well just be like, I literally just started saying it's not.
Yep. Plain and simple.
Like, it's not. Like in the sentence, like it's just not. Like what else to tell you? Like, and so I love that. And then so for personal development, I love that you said that, because I say all the time, like, there's a difference between listening to a podcast and like sitting down and like letting it like soak into your brain and like taking it and like implementing it into your life. Like you can listen to personal development all day long, but like if you're not using it and letting it like affect you, it doesn't do anything for your business or for your life. And I love that you say that it affects your life too, because that's how I feel about like my marriage, especially like learning to like, I don't know, just everything about self-developing. And like you said, being a leader too, and just realizing like, yeah, I say this all the time. I'm like a red, but I have like a yellow heart now. Like I've totally transmuted into this, like, I have like an orange, I'm like an orange soul now. I'm like both, because there's a difference between being red and being like a total asshole to your team. There's like a huge difference. And then you're like, oh, I'm just being red. And it's like, no, you're just being rude. Like, I love that. Oh my God, I love that so much. It was awesome. And if you guys don't know what the heck we're talking about, color personality is super important. And I know we have it in our team page, like the color personality test. The link is in there. So go take it and figure out what color personality you are, because you're going to learn a ton about yourself and you're going to learn a ton about the people on your team and like how you can be a better coach and a better leader for them. So who or what is your biggest inspiration right now?
So
That's my next question for you.
when I was pushing for double, Ashley Mayfield was just, for some reason, she clicked with me. Green carpet, I was like, this girl's crazy. And then for some reason, like, I just woke up one morning, I was like, I need something that I haven't really listened to in a while or read or followed. And for me, that was Ashley Mayfield. I started listening to her. One of my other uplines, Pamela, she loves Ashley. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to try something new. Like, why not? So I started listening to her. She went live on Facebook every single night in December, and even carried into January. So every single morning, that's how I would start my morning, because I pick up on other people's energies, and Ashley is always just like a fireball, and I love it.
Yes.
And so that's how I started my mornings every single morning. And even my boyfriend like came and knew who she was, because I was just always playing her. And she kind of inspired me to want to go completely debt free, like not even just credit cards. Obviously that's like our first tackle, but
right.
I love her energy and how she helped me make it more about my team rather than just my reasons. And
right.
she's just always so poured into her team, and I just love her. So I just found that leader that really clicked with me, who didn't at first either, and now she does. And I watched her lives every single morning. And I
love that.
And anytime
I love that. I know Pam Sauter's podcast is literally, any person who is on this or is watching the recording who has not listened to Pam Sauter's podcast, that's your homework for tonight, is to go listen to it, because it works specifically. And I feel like it's really important to do both. Like, it's important to do personal development, that's network marketing, and it works specific, and then it's important to do self-development outside of it. But I don't know if you listened to the one that she did with Jade, but I was listening to it this morning, and Jade has always been that person for me. Like, I have nothing in common with Jade. Like, she has 3 kids. She's 5 years older than me. She's from Illinois. But for some reason, she has just always, like, inspired me, spoke life into me. Like, before she even knew who I was, she was training me on YouTube. So I totally love that. And yeah, you guys, you just have to find somebody who has what you have, or what you want to have, that you connect with, and that you can not compare yourself to, but just be inspired by. So I love that. So tell me about something that you crossed off your dream board. Thanks to It Works.
So I feel like I didn't really have a clear dream board, and this sounds super silly to say, but I made like little dream boards in August. Like, I pay for like a massive vet bill, because our rescue was racking up vet bills really quick, and
yeah,
little things that I wanted to do, and nothing major until we actually moved into our house in November. We're in like a rent to own situation from his parents, and now that I just started dreaming bigger and started realizing what was capable, I feel like now I have like an actual I have a dream board with big and small things. Actually, it's right behind me, but I want to do a huge team retreat for, local and my non-local team. I live like 20 minutes from like Placid, so I want to like rent out just a big house and just have that there for anyone that wants to come up.
Yes, I love that.
We want to build a 5-figure savings this year, debt free.
That's on ours too. I have a 5-figure savings. That's right here up on my wall. And we're already crossing Rainbow Baby off of it, which is amazing. I literally just made it in November, and 3 weeks later we found out that we were expecting. So I was like, dream boards work, y'all. If you're trying to get pregnant, just put it on a dream board. Awesome. I love that. So I want to do that too, because like nobody is near me in California except for my girls that are local. So I'm like dying to like rent like a vacation house and like invite everyone to like come see. I'm like, come see me in California. So I don't have to fly to Florida all the time.
So that's perfect. I love it. But
yeah, totally.
And then I put like some smaller things, like I want to get a smart case for my iPad, which actually I can cross that off because I did that now. But I have like a double diamond check with my name on it. It's in February. That's crossed off. Like I want to get the Apple charging case because the Lux ones just haven't been very kind to my phone. But like I have little and big things, because I noticed for a while I had so many little things that I like felt like I wasn't really accomplishing enough of what I wanted to do. And then I switched and I had so many big things that are not going to happen in the next like 2 months. So I kind of had to find a happy medium, and I did that when we moved into the house. And they're just I really want to go to Disney around Christmas time when it's decorated, so that's on there. And I wrote that I want to be in the lifers page and be on Zooms with Cami, so that's going to be triple and above. So that's
yeah. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I have Disney on my dream board too. And I love that you talked about doing small goals too, because like you do want to have little things, like you feel like you're checking things off. Like if you just say like, oh, I want to make $1 million, and that's the only thing on your dream board, like it's going to be really hard to stay motivated when you haven't crossed that off in like a year or 2 years. So what does your now, so you decided to go in full force. What does your daily, like, do you have a list that you work off of, or do you just have like, what you need to do every hour? Kind of how do you run that?
I go back and forth. So Allie started a push chat for her entire team back in November, and that also was a nice push to help us all promote. But I think that truly helped me because it helped me get into a routine. So there was a list of things that we had to do every day, and if we didn't do them, we don't get points. And then like enrollments were extra points. So that really helped me because it was just nice to really, like, obviously our paychecks reward us for our hard work, but it was nice to just have like that extra little push. I mean, that's the point of a push chat. But so that got me into a really good routine. But it's winter here. I live in New York and it's freaking cold, so I hate leaving my house in the cold winter, snow, all of it. So it can get hard just because you do work from home and you do have to hold yourself accountable. And I've now been really good with when I catch myself like aimlessly scrolling or doing something that I don't need to go do. I switch gears and I go do income producing activities. Of course, Ashley Mayfield like pops into my head. She used to time herself to do laundry or clean her kitchen. So I'll do that now. I'll give myself like a solid half an hour. But just like getting into a routine, I wake up. I try to make my stories before I get out of bed. If my cats don't go wake my dogs up, and then it's game over from there. But usually I have like a solid half an hour to myself in the morning. I'll make my stories. I'll get around to messages out before I even get out of bed. That way I have like a little bit of time just to take care of the animals and give myself that 30 minutes to do the laundry or the dishes or clean whatever area of my house is annoying me that day. And then every single morning I was starting my mornings with Ashley Mayfield, and now she doesn't go live as often, but I still like to just go read her posts just because they are super motivating. This is my book that I'm currently reading. I'm obsessed with it. So I try development super early in the morning too, because I feels like it sets me up for my day. When I was working full time, I was listening to Zooms, trainings, YouTube videos in my car on the way to work. But yeah, now it's just, I taught myself how to be strict with my time, because at first I definitely wasn't, and I've learned to do that now. It's just so important because I feel like so many people give the excuse, myself included. I used to give this to Allie all the time, like, oh, we're so busy, or like, this is going on. Like, we all have time. There are literally 24 hours in the day. People work, people have kids, people go to school, but that's literally like the beauty of this. You can work from listening on my
homework. Yeah, Danielle literally just got off work at 6 our time, and she listened. Our Zooms are always at 6, and she's always like, perfect, and she hops on and listens.
Oh my god, I love it.
While she's driving. So
yeah, it's just like being disciplined.
That's awesome. So how many messages? How do you have like a minimum amount, or do you just like send as many as you can for messages?
I think that kind of depends on the day. I don't have like an exact sleep schedule, but I do definitely try to get that first round out before I even get out of bed, just so I know that I'm set. It's just like feels like a sense of I'm setting myself up for the day. I get a minimum of 100 new messages out a day, but I always aim for more.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's what we have going in our we're doing a push chat too right now, actually, which is so dude, that's awesome. Sam, good job. Okay, so this is kind of my last, and it's kind of like a two-sided question. So what do you say to if we have somebody who's on this that's like brand new, like maybe this is the first Zoom they've ever gotten on, what would you say to somebody who's just started their business and is feeling like, oh my gosh, like how the heck do I even like get this off the ground?
I think my biggest tip would just be to push past the negativity, because those people, honestly, they're not going to pay your bills. They're not. And also, don't like trade places. Don't take advice from someone you wouldn't trade places from, or trade places with. Oh my goodness, really, I can't talk today. It's just the negativity, dealing with it, arguing with it. Like, it's not worth it. And just be consistent with what you do, because even if you feel like you're not getting somewhere, if you're being consistent with every single thing that you need to do, like, success does not happen overnight. When I joined, I was pushing for, well, I promoted last summer the ranks that had the bonuses, but the way Mark likes to keep us on our toes, he kept switching it all up. So I missed the Ruby $1,000 bonus. I missed the Emerald 5,000, and I was just so discouraged. And I texted Allie, and I'm like, dude, what the heck? And she's like, just keep going, just keep going. It's all going to pay off. It's all going to pay off. And I don't even know what I would have done if I quit, because I didn't get some stinking bonus. Like, that's just, it's so silly.
Right. And then you ended up getting a $7,500 diamond bonus, and then you ended up getting a $15,000 double diamond bonus.
Yeah. So it was just so insane. And just, I was like, why am I doing this? Like, she's like, really, you're going to get discouraged over a bonus? Like, that's going to be your monthly income down the line? Like, what are you doing? So just be consistent. I didn't give up. She gave me the tough love when I needed it, and just being consistent. It's just so, it's so crucial, because I have my background, Ashley Mayfield quote, but it says, every time I choose to stop, I disqualify myself. Because
I love that.
It's on my whiteboard above my desk. It's my background. Like, we're all gonna
time I choose, I'm writing this down. Every time I choose to stop,
I disqualify myself. That is not me.
Oh,
So good. It's so true, because
I have like full body chills from that. That's amazing.
Yeah. We're all gonna have days that we like get super discouraged, but like, if you stop and you give up, like, you're quitting on yourself. You're quitting on any goal you have, any dream you have for you, your family, your pets, your future kids, if that's the route you're going. Like, you're quitting on everything you joined this business for, and that's not okay. So anytime I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. It reminds me of that quote too. That's like, if you're tired of starting over, quit quitting. Like, if you're tired of starting back at square one, and I feel like I have to start all over again. Well, stop stopping in the first place.
Yep.
And just, I love that. Oh my God.
Same thing with like joining different, like, people sometimes will, you see them join another company, but like, your work ethic isn't going to change. So like, why are you going to go start from scratch again? Like, it's not the company not working, it's literally you. But if you just stay consistent with everything that you're doing, it's just like, you're bound for success. Even on the hard days, even on days you don't want to do it, like, you're going to have success. You just have to stay consistent.
The grass is greener where you water it, guys. I love that. Okay, so then the other kind of half of this question is like, so we've got newbies, and then what do you say to somebody who's like, I've got like 8 or 9 who are like 500 from Ruby-ish. I've got like few girls that are like 1,000 from Emerald, and then we've got girls who are like 2,000 from Diamond. So all of them are like, they're lined up for this. They're ready to do this. They just need to like take the next 10 days and just like go. So like, what is your best advice for promoting the last 10 days of the month and like finishing strong?
So Cammie's Zoom that she did it was the end of October, actually. It was on Halloween. I was sitting in a house under a lot of stress. We were in between houses, and I just will never forget. She said, like, you have to treat every single day like it's the end of the month. So that way at the end of the month, you don't have that crazy stress. But she's like, if it is the end of the month and you are pushing, like, do not ever stop. Like, do not sell yourself short. Do not stop. Do not give up just because you think you're not going to get there, because one, you can get there and you will get there with hard work. And two, like, even if you fall just a tiny bit short this month, you're setting yourself up for success the next month, or even 6 months from now. Like, you're still, just everything that you're doing is setting yourself up. So do not stop just because you're 2,000 away or 500 away or whatever volume you are. I think it was Nicole Hassinger needed 15,000 like 5 days before the month end, and she worked with her team. She worked on her enrollments, and they did it. Like, anything is possible. And I was getting so discouraged for a couple months trying to push for double, and then I just like kind of rewired what I was doing and worked on the development and leadership. And every single month, December and January, the volume just kept getting lower and lower for me to get closer. And conference, the last day, I was 1,200 away. And when the night ended and I didn't go double, I wasn't mad at myself because I hauled ass the entire month. And I knew that it was happening in February because that's just, I was there. I was that much closer. So, and realistically, 1,200, I probably could have done it. So like no number.
Yes.
Put your head down. Stop making excuses. Just put the work in.
No, but sometimes, but you do, like, if you get to the last, you know, if you get to that last 7 hours of the month, 6 hours of the month, and you're like hundreds away or thousands away, like, don't let that like dishearten you. Let that be like, oh, I'm just gonna go next month. Like, I'm just so close. And that's exactly what happened to me when I went diamond. I went to conference, I came home, it was the last day of the month, and I still like on the last day. And like, I could have been totally upset and totally like, you know, bummed out about it. But then I just went in March. I just went diamond in March, and it was actually I went on like on the 25th. I went, and I was able to like not relax. We were still working, but like I was able to like enjoy it and like embrace it, and like it wasn't stressful. And so that's what we're getting. My goal was triple this month. We still need a lot, but now my goal is just, okay, let's get down under 7,000, you know, so it's just that much easier. And I love that. Just like never, well, and you just in much, you know.
It's so true. So true. But yeah, same thing. I promoted to double. Oh, I think you're freezing. I think you cut out a little bit.
Too many phones trying to connect. Okay, am I back? I just had them disconnect.
You're good to go.
Anyway, so but that was really it. Unless you have anything in your brain, anything on your heart that you want to share with us, or if anyone has any questions, but I think we pretty much covered all of them.
Yeah, I'm pretty much an open book, so you know what else.
And I don't know if you just said she loves the ear sign in the back that says "I am triple."
Oh, thank you, actually.
And just like speaking it to yourself.
And she was like, so my Emerald is one of my best friends, and she's actually going diamond this month. She's about under 2,000 away, and she's doing it. So if anyone here is going diamond, do it. But she was here when she promoted to Emerald and I promoted to double. Yes. And she was like, so you're going to go switch your sign in your office to say triple? And I'm like, can I just have it say double now that I did it for more than like 5 minutes? And she's like, no, you need to go switch it. Like, what do you teach us all the time to like keep pushing for your goals? So I switched it. But yeah, just that's another thing. Like,
oh my God, that's awesome.
I love them. And write whatever goal that you're pushing for, write it literally all over your house. It's on both of our bathroom mirrors. It's in here. It's the background of the lock screen of my phone. You can't see right now because my phone's all over the place, but triple diamond. My goal is actually, I need to update that because I'm trying for April. But yeah, just write it everywhere. Literally everywhere.
Yep. I love it. Thanks so much, Jordan. My connection's going out. I appreciate you. Thank you for doing this. And I will see you on Tuesday.
Yes,
I'll do the same thing for your team.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me.